just between us, a show where we teach you how to get in shape just by doing the Macarena.
Somebody sold that video in the 90s. For sure.
Macarena. And then you squat.
Okay, well, it's the squatting then.
So this week I proposed a controversial topic, which is, did we miss our shot to get really famous?
Okay. You had to put a caveat. Because I had a reaction where I was like, 3 things. 1, some people would say we are, which is very silly. 2, that no, the answer is simply no, we have not. And 3, the definition of what level we would want to be famous or what that even looks like in the industry now is like completely different.
Well, I was just posing a topic to spark a conversation.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying it's interesting. Like, because obviously you can look back on our career.
Yeah.
And there were moments in time where if something had happened, everything would be different.
Yes and no. Because I always think like certain things could have gone and then gone nowhere. That's what's been really wild to me about the industry now, in being in this industry, is that someone will be the star of a show and not famous. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just saw a video of a guy who's like, he's like, I'm a series regular on a Netflix show, and he's doing Postmates.
But like, you don't think that if our show about BuzzFeed as a cult had been picked up by FX in like whatever year that was, and we were running a show that we were starring in on FX, that wouldn't have changed our lives a little bit?
Maybe or maybe not. You have no idea.
Well, that's absurd. We would have more money.
Not me. I would have still met that person and blown it all. I would still be divorced, you see. I mean, who knows? Then maybe I didn't meet that person, I didn't get divorced, then I didn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Who knows? Or like, all kinds of things could have happened. So I think there are people, I think it's so spread out that there are people that get famous, definitely. I think a person who has been very strategic and very good at the level of career that she wants is Quinta, obviously. I think she's been extremely strategic, and I think that's great. But like, there are people that get famous, get these opportunities, and aren't strategic, or don't, you know, things happen in a way or whatever. Like,
well, I don't think it's just that she's strategic. I think she's incredibly talented.
Yes, oh, of course. That's not what I mean. I mean, there are people that are talented that aren't, but she's business minded. Like, she's very smart. And so I think there are people that are talented that don't turn themselves into businesses, like the queens on Drag Race, right? You get on Drag Race. I feel like Drag Race is a good equation to BuzzFeed in a way, because you get on Drag Race, and that used to be a huge thing. Like, if you got on Drag Race, you immediately got followers, you're immediately famous, right? Now there's been so many seasons that you get on Drag Race and you can do really well on Drag Race and not make an impact at all. Or you can come off and be like second person to leave and make a show that on YouTube that does really well, and you become suddenly the most known person from your season or whatever. So it feels like you have to carve out your own thing even when given these opportunities. So I don't know necessarily just being given the opportunity would have changed who we were or our dynamic with each other. Or
I just totally disagree. I think if we had gotten our own TV show that we were starring in, then that's like just a different trajectory that you're on.
Yes, but I'm
not saying that like I don't think that like, oh, now our careers are over because it didn't happen. But I think the idea that wouldn't have had an impact is bananas.
What were the names of the 2 girls that had the show on MTV? The same time of our MTV show, there were 2 other shows that went starring 2 girls. Yeah, but what were those girls' named?
They weren't the writer creators. If you have a show that, first of all, one of the shows was Nicole Byer, and she's
obviously Nicole Byer, but I'm saying the duos. What were the names of the 2?
Were they the writer creators?
I think for one of them they were.
And we have no idea if they're still working in TV. They might still be.
They might still be working in TV. Yeah, but are they famous?
And I say famous, sub in famous for like financially successful.
That's different.
Okay.
The most financially successful people in this town, you don't know their names. They live in huge houses in Brentwood. They produce fucking Marvel Cinemas number 71, and you'll never know what they look like.
You're arguing that it might not have lasted long, but like it would have still been a moment.
For sure. No, I'm not saying it wouldn't last long. What I'm saying is that those girls probably look at us being known by our names and doing stuff and like being visible and having whatever following we have and think that we are more successful than them because they didn't shoot to fame and they just like are working in a writer's room. And they don't have anything that they're making with their name on it. You, Allison Raskin, publishing your own stories, your own books. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I guess, but you're also I guess. No, I'm just saying I think that it's
they clearly wanted to be known, and you are known in your name, and they're writing for a sitcom, and no one knows who they are. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, but all I'm saying is that it's been interesting to have a career where there were moments where it was like really close for us.
Sure.
And that's been interesting. And then sometimes it's like the anxiety feeling is like, oh, but I missed that opportunity. Like, is that, you know, like,
yeah.
But then if you let me ever just say anything longer than that,
okay,
then it's like, the important thing is to like remind myself that like there continues to be opportunities, and also what is fame, and is fame even something that's desirable in the current climate?
Right.
Like, I do sometimes think that, like, if you're really famous, that seems terrible.
It is. I
think I'd still like it. I'm a total ham, but it is complicated.
The money of it all seems really great, which tells you a lot about the economy. But and the
experiences, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I love being on set.
Yes, being on set, but that's different than being famous, where you have to like constantly be watching everything you say and like everything you post.
But we already have that with what level we are.
I know, but there's even worse. There's even more. I mean, I can say I work at a store and people are, even though they've messaged me to know where it is, that they know where it is, like, not in a creepy way, but nobody's going there to fucking like blow, you know what I mean?
Like safety stuff.
Yeah, there's stuff that's very different that I would not enjoy. I think at a certain point, maybe I would have. Things can change. Things have changed. Things have changed and do change so quickly, but also have changed. Like, the amount of like, oh, this is, you know, we want all these BuzzFeeders to be this big. Never mind, BuzzFeed's dead. Oh, now we want like, we're giving you talk shows to every YouTuber. Just kidding, we're not doing that anymore. Like,
I would love to have a talk show.
Sure.
That'd be great.
I think you would be good at it, but it would be hard for your guests because you would immediately you would just know what's wrong with them. You know what I mean? Like, you'd sit down for the interview and they'd like be telling some story about their boyfriend, and you'd be like, you don't want to be with that guy. Like, that's like a hard talk show. You know what I mean?
I have like clients, and I have tact, and
I know, but on camera, to ham it up, please.
I feel like sometimes it's harder as you get older. If like as like a performer.
Yeah.
You know, Save the Date, like I want to adapt it as a movie, and I feel like 10 years ago, it would have been like I would be in the movie. And now no one is even mentioning that. You
could be in the movie as someone else.
Okay, yeah, it could be the barista. But I'm just saying, like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's like an element of like when we were younger, it was like us as like performers tied to the creative work that I feel like has been separated as we've gotten older.
Well, you and I are in sort of different places, actually, because you're still very connected to, like, you still have our manager, you're still very connected to, I think, these voices that are probably right, but are very, like, in that sort of Hollywood structure world. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, when you were like, well, I couldn't star in this, to me, I'm, like, working on something now, writing something now that I'm like, I will be the main character. Because I'll try to make it myself. Like, I don't have any money, but, like, to me, I feel like it's, maybe I don't feel that way also because I just started looking like this.
Right.
I just started looking like this. So I'm completely now, like, any acting that I do now is like, it's new because it's like a different guy. But
exciting.
Yeah, like I think, I mean, I don't really want to act. I think part of why I would do it is because I don't think anybody else could do this part, and also I just am like, let me just do it. Like, I'll just do it. Things have changed and do change so much that you could adapt it as a movie, it becomes, you know, a huge hit. Like, who knows? Like, a lot of crazy things happen. I think, like, Tina Fey, when did Mean Girls come out? You know what I mean? Like, and that was like,
well, she'd been on SNL.
But I'm saying that was like, there's like a different things can happen.
Definitely. Look, I posed the question not because I think that we missed our shot. If Save the Date had come out like during the height of our internet like popularity, it would be a different situation than it is now.
Oh, I think that way about like making a movie.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But I didn't know that's what I wanted to do. So I beat myself up going, oh, like at this point when this thing was going on, if I had known that I wanted to work in independent film, then I would have just had so much money and opportunity. But it's like, okay, but you didn't know that. Like, you had no fucking idea.
And I hadn't been dumped by my fiance yet.
That's what I'm saying. Now we're just getting into multiverse shit.
It's just like a thought that occurs, and then it's like doing the mental work to be like, that's not true. Like,
is this
you never
because
know.
Mikey Madison beat Demi Moore? Is that what's happening?